Anyone trying to constitute reality and they ain't holding up nature, they are propagating a false awareness to you. And it's making you feel more human than your actual solar self, which is rape. You are people of the sun, Melanite children. You're children of the sun. You're not children of the moon. You're not children of even, you don't belong to the human race. You inspire the human race. You make the human race give something to live for. You have a higher purpose than here. And when you think that you don't, that's just not wanting to have responsibility for the self. You want someone else to have a responsibility for the self that you haven't even made yourself aware of. But it's beings out here using your energy against you. You don't even know. You got beings that know how to leave this planet. After they die, they get old and die, and they leave this planet, and they come back to this planet with all of their memory intact. Know exactly who they are, who they was in their last life, and everything. All off of your electromagnetic energy. We got to start getting in tune with the self. It's just real simple. It's not nothing hard. It's not nothing deep. It's not nothing methodical. You can read all the stuff that you want to read. Prescribe to all that you're going to prescribe to. But it's going to come a time when you're going to have to take it amongst yourself. You're going to have to stop trying to build with Brother Bilal about what you done read and start building with self with it. You're going to have to stop building with Sister Rashida about what you done read and start building with self with it. You follow? Don't try to just ingest some information and go out and try to propagate it. Take it with self. And I ain't talking about no 5 minutes of meditation. I mean, you have to set a time aside for yourself, brothers. Like you do for that sister with that fat ass that you done met on a date or whatever. See how you set aside time to make sure that you're going to show her a good time? You got to do that for yourself. See how you set up your place to have company over? Do that for the self. And you don't have to meditate or nothing. Just sit with yourself and deal with yourself. I watch people all the time. They struggle to deal with themselves. They got to call somebody every 5-10 minutes. Because they don't want to sit and deal with who they are. Deal with who you are. Stop asking other people to deal with who you are. Because that's making yourself a burden on someone else. You putting your burdens on somebody else. That's not mastering self. You ain't even going to even get a chance to master yourself when you make self someone else's burden. You had to take that time to self. You can't always reach out and call this person or call that person. You got to call on you. And call on the forces within you. And they will respond. Them forces will respond. You got the responding forces. You got to be receptive to self. Let me start bopping these rays out on y'all so y'all can see that, you know, just to give you some clarification. You got to revitalize yourself. You got to reinterpret everything that you take in with that ray. You're going to have to start reinterpreting everything you take in. Take it into self and let self ingest it. Let that soul take it all in. The soul don't need to analyze and break shit down like the brain does. It don't need to do that. It got it. It absorbed everything the moment you seen it. Stored it in the physical mind. It did it so swift you didn't even realize it was happening because you don't even think that you the soul. You thinking you inside the brain and you just this human. Most people think when they die it's just going to be dark and it ain't nothing else. They don't even remember and they don't know nothing. So that's what it's going to be. Your thought waves is aligning you with that type of energy force to make that your reality. Based on the universe that exists inside the self, or the soul, or the ray, which is a dark hole. attracting matter to it, which is your physical body. And it's being held away from the physical body by the biomagnetic sheath. And this biomagnetic sheath is being held together by the tachyon forces of the sun, which is Ra. Everything keeps going back to Ra. You could say Ra, but that's the physical sun on this side of H1. On the other side of H1, you have E1, where you go from E99 all the way down to E1. And we dealing with this self, you dealing with this radius. See that Ra? They spell it like this. We hold the radius with the Ra. You can see the Ra in there. They say radius. Right? The radius ain't nothing but, you know, inside of a circle. Let me show you the radius is 3.1. Right? Based on that point. That point, or that black dot, or that decimal, or that dark sun, or that dark point. From this point, you gain inner sight. Once you have inner sight, you have understanding. And you have inner knowledge. Based on the inner verse. And you have an outer sight. Outer standing. Outer knowledge. Then you have an outer verse. Alright? So all based from the degrees of self, which is based on the radius of 3.14. Right? When they telling you about this 3.14, it's only going 3/14 inside of a sphere to get to the center of that sphere. It's not going through the totality of it. It ain't going halfway through it. It's only just a slither. It's just a point. Or as they say, a ray. That's why they call it a radius. See the radius? Or the radius. Which Ra and Ray are interchangeable. At a point of H1. Which created the finite line. We went through in previous classes. You have outer sight and inner sight. The inner sight is internal. The outer sight is external. The way you understand things is the way that they really are. And this inner knowledge is finite, or it's infinite. It's unlimited. The knowledge that the soul obtains. This is going outside of itself because it's existed in an external world that it doesn't belong to. And this causes one to have amnesia because you're not operating from soul capacity. Now you done vibrated so low to this gross form that you need minds and brains and a body just to experience, just for Ray to pick up some form of experience. But this experience is helping Ray. It's helping Ray master itself, or master its Ray. So that this Ray can go on out and produce life forever. This ain't something that just ends right here. Don't let them fool you with that. That's listening to external forces. If you black, Negroid, Afro-American, nigga, whatever you want to call yourself,